My name's Dave Dubeau, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content.
Hey, gang, welcome back. Chances are, unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard of co-living. But do you really know what it is? Do you really know what the advantages and disadvantages of this real estate investing style are? Well, today our special guest, zooming in from Florida, knows a heck of a lot about this. He's lived the experience. He's become an expert around this. He's become very, very well known in real estate around co-living. So, Hawk Mikado, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, Dave. I appreciate you.
All right, my friend. So let's start a little bit backwards. Instead of starting with the origin story, let's talk a little bit about what you primarily focus on these days, what the portfolio looks like, what it consists of, especially when it comes to co-living spaces.
Yeah, so I love co-living, hands down. I think it's by far the best performing real estate asset in today's market because it allows you to get one property and you can get it with a conventional loan, unlike multifamily, which multifamily is amazing too. And then you can get rental income from each and every single room in the house. And so as we look for a property, we want something that's 4+ bedrooms, ideally 5 or 6, but at least 4, just because that's when you start to see the real cash flow where it starts to make real good numbers. We're talking $1,000, $2,000 plus per month. I've got a friend who just finished a conversion on one of his on a property he bought. He turned it from a 3-bedroom to an 8-bedroom, and it will make him about $9,000 a month in net income. His mortgage on it's about
net income?
Net income, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So did you get it really cheap, or what's?
Yeah, he got it so cheap. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm up here in Canada, Auckland. When I hear those kind of numbers, I'm property prices.
That's like $12 billion Canadian. Just so you know.
No, it's just the price of properties is pretty steep. So does this work in, expensive markets as well? Or is it really, really dialed in for, buying houses at a really good price and then maximizing it that way?
So the more saturated the market, we find the more people want to be there and the more need for affordable type housing that there is. So now we're not talking about luxury, right? You get to luxury, that's when you should go over to short-term Airbnb, because like I got a friend who's got a house on the beach and it's $2,500 a night for people to stay in his house, right? It's like, you're not going to find that.
This ain't that.
This ain't that, right? Now his house is a $10 million house. So just to be perfectly clear, it's on, like he has a private beach. $2,500 a night is cheap for the right family.
So what's the typical range in what you're charging per room for tenants these days? Because I know you've got a bunch of these yourself and you help manage a bunch or something like that. Correct?
So it depends on the location, but we like to be in markets where we're making about $1,000 a month on average per room. Now, when I look to buy a property, I look at the number of bedrooms in that property that I can purchase and then rent it out room by room for. We look to spend at most $100,000 per room, assuming we're going to make $1,000 a month. So I'm looking at a 10% yield to purchase price, which means if I'm making $10,000 a year, $10,000 to $12,000 a year on the room, per room, and I'm spending $100,000 after 10 years, assuming I had purchased it cash, I would make all of my money back. Now, obviously, we're financing these things in most cases, but that gives just a good rule of thumb when you're looking at this property. Now, a quick, simple way to actually figure out what your pricing would be in your community or in your area, go look at the cost of a studio apartment or a 1-bedroom apartment and cut that down by somewhere between 60 to 80%, depending on the amenities that you're providing in that room.
Okay, so if you're charging $1,000 a month,
the studio might be $1,400 a month here, and we're going to cut that down, and it'll bring us to that about $1,000.
Oh, not cutting it down by 80%. It's 80% of the cost.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Well, holy crap. Those are some expensive studios you got there. All right, got my math mixed up there, my friend. So pretty much you're going at 80% of what it would cost to rent a studio or a one bedroom. That's what you can charge for a single bedroom in a house. Okay, cool. There's all sorts of platforms out there these days for doing this. Is there one that you prefer?
So we've primarily been focused on PadSplit as a platform.
Yeah.
You can also do it through Airbnb. There's Spare Room, Furnish Finder, a few others. I would say probably 95% of the people that we get in our places are from PadSplit as of today. And about 5% are from Airbnb, and about 0% are from the rest of them.
All right, so I'm hearing PadSplit. If you're going for one thing, focus on PadSplit.
Now, to one of the reasons why people spend the energy and time on the other ones is because PadSplit PadSplit and Airbnb take 12 and 15% respectively of your total income. So you're going to raise the rate a little bit for those. To me, it's not worth the amount of time and energy it takes to go in and go find a tenant. And actually, they're not tenants; they're guests or members. But we'll to go find somebody to stay in those places because of the fact that you're going through and messaging, person after person, and these people want to go look at the property, and now you got to have somebody go see them. And we use Furnish Finder, and I was so excited because I literally within about 3 months we got 300 requests, and I will tell you we got 0 people who ever actually came to even look at the property. After all these messages back and forth. I gave up after a couple months. I said, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore.
No, that ain't worth it. Okay. Practically speaking, Hawk, I mean, you've got tons of experience with this. If somebody's got a property or looking at a property that's kind of ideal for, co-living, 4 bedrooms plus, I get that. What else should we be looking for? So like how many bathrooms per bedroom? Do you charge extra for ensuite rooms that have their own bathroom? Just, logistical stuff. Does everybody share the same kitchen? Is there a living room? Is everybody sharing the living room? So just kind of, and furnishing, those are the things that come to my mind right off.
Absolutely. So before I get to that, so when we're buying, we're going to buy a 4+ bedroom. But I just talked with somebody yesterday, actually. He's got a 2-bedroom, and he's like, do I rent it or do I sell it? If he sells it today in today's market, he's got about $40,000 of equity, but that doesn't include all of the costs it's going to cost him to sell it. And assuming he sells it at market
discounts,
which is not going to happen today.
Yeah. So he's going to have to discount it, pay a realtor, the whole bit. Yeah.
So he'll end up with about $5,000. And I was like, it's probably not worth it to you unless you really just want to get out of it. You could rent it full time. Here's what your rental comps are. They're going to be about $1,600 to $1,600 to $2,000. Average is about $1,800. If you turn it into a co-living, which does require you to pay the utilities, and you have to leave the furniture. So those are 2 things that you have to include in there. He would end up with about $2,400 because each one, it's a 2-2. So each one has its own private bathroom, which means you can charge a little bit more. So getting to the next question, first, we furnish everything. Think of if you were to go to a motel that had it's got a bed, it's got a dresser, it's got a desk. It's got a nightstand, it's got a little lamp. Like that's pretty much everything you need.
That's about it. Okay.
We have our own shopping list that we use. We buy most of our stuff off of Amazon. It gets delivered direct to us in boxes, and then we hire somebody to put it together. Recently, and this is brand new, I haven't actually, we're just getting quotes for this. So I'll tell you later how this ends up. But Hotel Liquidators is a potential option I'm not sure if it's actually any cheaper though, because they're like, well, yeah, it's like $700 for the stuff. And then I was like, okay, cool. Does that include delivery? He's like, no, that doesn't include delivery. It's like,
Or
okay.
installation or any of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, right now, I'm not sure if it's going to be any cheaper than what we do.
Well,
right now,
it might be a lot more durable, though. I mean,
our stuff is actually very durable. We've had zero issues, and it's more compact. So we have a desk dresser combo that we buy. Nice. And I love this thing because it's about $400 all in for just that one piece. Each room is about $1,500 just to kind of give you an average. Yeah. And a living room is a room. The kitchen is a room. Dining room is a room. A bathroom, we do it's $500 per bathroom, and that's includes like the racks you put behind, so you have shelving and all that sort of stuff. Right. We just assume that's approximately what you're going to spend for all of the things that you need. And that includes your carpets, your rugs, the bath mats, multiple sets of those, all that kind of stuff is part of that. And so when we're looking at these things, we want it to be compact because the rooms aren't that big.
Yeah, you got a little space to move around in there, right?
Yeah. So they have rooms, all rooms are private. Some rooms have a shared bathroom. Some of them have a private, we call them mostly private, because they're detached bathrooms that technically somebody else could use. And then there are en-suite bathrooms. So that's upgrade number one, or tiers, right? You can kind of tier. Each of those upgrades is worth about $25 a week for each.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you go from a full bed to a queen bed to a king bed, same thing, $25 a week for each one of those. So it's about $100 a month to go from one to the next. A parking spot, again, is $25 to $50 a week, depending on if it's covered or not. If you want to go, say, hey, you got a parking spot as well in the driveway or in the garage. And speaking of garages, you can actually rent that out without converting it into a new space where people can live. Right. You can rent that out to people who want to store their car that are traveling. You can rent it out to somebody who wants just storage space as well.
Or you rent it out to your existing tenants. You charge them that extra $50 to $100 a week for parking, right? Basically.
Yep. So you can get, there's a lot of ways that you can turn little bits of your house into extra streams of income that might not have.
That's very, very cool.
Hey there, if you're a capital raiser, a syndicator, or a fund manager, and you're looking for a steady flow of incoming accredited investor leads, then go ahead, grab a free copy of my new book, How to Get 20 Accredited Investor Meetings Every Month Without Cold Calling, Networking, or Chasing People. You can get that at 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com. Again, that's the number 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com.
Okay, so questions that come to my mind, Hawk. So kitchen use, how do people divvy that up? And
so laundry? The way we do this, laundry, we kind of let them fend for themselves. We're like, hey, you guys need to work this out. You're adults. Our house manual literally says that. It's like, you guys are adults. You can figure this out. If you're incapable of doing so, please reach out to us and we will help you figure this out. I think it says a little nicer than that, but that's exactly what it says. Kitchen, every single person has their own pantry space. And we, this actually was something that came out of COVID. So after or during COVID, we were full up throughout COVID, which actually surprised us. We were like, we're screwed. Like, what's going to happen? We're not going to have anybody. Nobody left.
Where they're going to go, right? I mean,
yeah, I guess so. And we were 100% full in all of our properties when it started. So everybody stayed for a very long time. But we started going to it's called buckwheat plastic. And they're colored. So each room has its own pantry space, and then they have their own set of colored dishware. So
pantry space in the kitchen or in the bedroom?
In the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In the kitchen. So we just, we take, one of the cabinets, and that's their pantry space.
Got it.
And if there's an extra big pantry or whatever, then we can also divvy that up. But they get that. And now they have their own color. And if somebody's dishes are left in the sink,
Smart.
who to
You
talk
know
to.
whose it is. Yeah.
So that helped a ton through. We had a couple times here and there when people just weren't washing their dishes. And I was like, hey, somebody's like, the purple room, whatever. I don't know whose room it is, but the purple one, they're not washing their dishes. Can you go take care of, can you have them take care of it? So we can talk to them. Right?
Very, very smart. Okay. So you got it divvied. Now, do you put in 2 fridges for, like, if you got 7 bedrooms going on there, how many fridges, like, how do you do that kind of thing? Right. That gets pretty tight.
1 fridge for every 4 bedroom is our
Okay.
goal. Yeah. So if you've got a 5 bedroom, still 2 fridges.
Yeah.
If you got a 4 bedroom, it's 1. If you got 6, it's 2. 7, it's 2. 8, it's 2. 9 would be 3 fridges. You might start doing mini fridges at that point in each person's room, and you just kind of, figure that out or whatnot. But or you get larger fridges. So I know some people when they do those conversions, they get those really big fridge spots.
Right.
And, it's big enough for a family of, 9 people, nine households. And
Okay. I remember chatting with somebody a few months ago, Hawk, that's in the co-living space, and that was their go-to. They basically furnished every single room with a mini fridge and a microwave. And what they found was hardly anybody used the kitchen, which kind of really lowered the interaction, the conflict between guests or whatever they're called, right? What are your thoughts about that? You just kind of told me you just, after 9, you do that, but
yeah.
what about TVs and stuff like that in the rooms?
So we don't do any TVs.
Okay.
Which is it's an upgrade for us. So if you want a TV in your room, it's an extra $10 a week and that's even if you bring your own TV, it's an extra $10. You also want a TV, then you can purchase one from us for $250. And you can actually take it if you want. You can take it, you can donate it, you can leave it. We don't care. We're actually buying them a TV from Best Buy. That was with a 2-year warranty. We give them the whole thing. And it's just like, hey, our cost is $250. You can have it for $250. And then
charge you $10 a week for cable or whatever they're.
Yeah, utilities. It's really what it comes down to. And it doesn't cost $10 a week for the most part. It's going to cost $3 to $5 in, if they have it on all the time, which most people aren't. But at the same time, it's like, if you really want it, first of all, you should be watching on your computer, where you can have your headphones in, because TVs, one of the things that we find is TVs are actually very disruptive to other guests.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, you got 7 people crammed in a house. Everybody's got their TV going, or half of them or one of them's got the TV going loud. It's going to bug everybody else.
So we like to just, hey, you should, we're trying to encourage them to use the things that they already have.
Yeah.
And it already comes with high-speed internet, so they don't have to worry about it. And we get a gig, the highest, whatever the highest is available, usually a gig for us at these properties.
So how long do your guests typically stay with you?
Most are going to stay in the 6 to 9 month range. We've had the longest stay we've had was about 4 years. We've actually had 2 people stay for one person stayed for 3 years, 7 months. He was actually planning on staying for 4 years, but we put the property on the market. And part of the stipulation was that they had to rent it back to us until he left. But once we got a buyer, he's like, no, it's fine. I'm actually, I'm going to go get a different place. So he left on his own accord. We were actually planning on losing money just because he'd been there for so long and he was such a great guest.
But typically it's about 6 months is how long.
6 to 9 months.
And who are these folks typically?
So contractors, you've got traveling nurses. Occasionally we have students. If we have a student, we hope that they're a grad student. They're not looking to party. People who are traveling to and from the area that are moving to and from the area. I mean, so they're coming in. They need a place to while they go look for a property. And also, as a real estate agent, because I am a real estate agent, I don't practice. I'm not a retail agent, so I don't help people buy and sell. But if somebody's like, "Oh, I'm moving to and from the area," I'm like, "Can I connect you with a realtor that can help you through this process?" Which gives me an opportunity to make a little extra cash.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to do that. Those are a majority of the people. Sometimes we have entrepreneurs. I've had a couple of divorcees that came through. They got divorced or they were going through divorce.
That would make sense.
And they needed a place to call home while they were going through that. One guy who I'm pretty sure went through, guessing, a bankruptcy. I mean, we obviously don't tell you, but there's signs of things that they say, and they always express appreciation. Like, I'm so appreciative of you having this because, I wasn't able to get anything else due to my credit or due to, whatever circumstance. And they kind of give you a glean and an insight into what's going on in their lives. And it feels so good to be able to help when somebody needs a place. And, 10 years ago, this wasn't popularized enough to where people knew this was an option. This has actually been around for hundreds of years. It changes names every couple decades, but it's because of the internet, because of first Airbnb and now Pad Split, it has become commercialized and popularized in such a way that it's not seen as like this weird thing that you do. It's just it's common.
Yeah, well, especially with affordability these days, a lot of people have no other options. So, a couple of more just practical questions here. Again, getting back to having 6 or 7 strangers living together in a house, at the best of times, there's going to be conflicts. How does that get dealt with typically?
We have very few conflicts. Over the last decade, I can count on one hand the number of times I've had conflicts with people.
Wow.
Or conflicts between people. I could probably count on another hand the number of times I have had conflicts with the guests not following house rules. I had one guy. It was just after the shutdown had stopped. He was from the UK and he came over for work, and he decided to get his haircut in the living room. And I was like, message him like, well, I just got a notification that the door's been left open, and I checked our cameras, and you have a random person in the house. That's not allowed, first and foremost. And second of all, what's going on? He's like, oh, he's just here giving me a haircut. I'm like, where? He's like, in the living room. I'm like, that's not we don't do that in the living room. He's like, well, that's what we do back home. I was like, go outside. Like, it's fine outside.
Go to a barbershop, for crying out loud, dude.
Yeah, right. The barbershops were open again, but he was just so used to doing that.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
That he's just used to having people. So we had to have our cleaner come in, and we got industrial grade. We had to it's a bodily waste. So you can't just have that anywhere.
You can't just vacuum it up.
Right, exactly. Or
you probably shouldn't, but I
suppose some people do, but we take cleanliness very, very seriously. And so, we had this biohazard this whatever stuff shipped directly to us. She put on all the stuff. She did all the cleaning.
Wow.
And
Kenneth butt for a haircut.
Yeah.
Well, so what? So no strangers in the house. What if somebody's in there and they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend and they want to take them home? How does that kind of thing work?
Yeah. So they gotta send us their photo ID and let us know that they want them in. We have the option to decline them. Mm-hmm. We also have the option to charge them, and it says in our thing that says we will charge you $20 a day or $70 a week for any guests who come and want to stay. And the room has to have a double occupancy. So because of occupancy laws, we have to stay within certain limits.
Well, that was the other question. What about couples? Do you ever have couples staying together in rooms, or is it all singles?
Yeah, so we have, so each place is different, but one of the places, it's a 5-bedroom, technically 4-bedroom on the books. But we turned the den, we put a door on the den, which turns it into a bedroom. By law, it turns it into a bedroom, but from the county's perspective, they see it as a 4-bedroom, and we have we can have 2 people per room plus 2 people. So we can have a total of 10 people in that house.
Okay.
Which that's really good, because then we can have 2 people in every single room if we wanted to. When we first started, though, it was actually, they had different occupancy laws. It was a total of 6 people max. So we could have 1 person in each room, and then except for 1 room, could have 2 people.
Got it.
So it was, and luckily they changed the laws a couple of years after, and it just opened it up for us, which we were
So do you have quite a few couples doing this then, or is it mostly singles?
Mostly singles. We get, I'd say maybe 15%, maybe 20% of the people that come in are double occupancy in the rooms that we accept. So the smaller rooms, we just say they're single occupancy. And then if somebody's like, oh, I want somebody else, we either use this as an opportunity to upsell them if we have a room open, be like, hey, if you want to be able to bring friends over, you should go to the other room. It's only $25 more a week. Plus the extra cost for the extra person. But that it gives them that option.
Right.
A lot of times, though, if it's somebody just bringing somebody in for the weekend, something like that, we give them, it's like, hey, just register them with us so we know that they're in there, and don't worry about we're not trying to nickel and dime them. If we can make a little extra, great. But I don't want to create a bad experience as well. I want them to enjoy it, and $20 is not worth.
No, it's not worth bad reviews or whatever, however that works. Well, very, very cool, Hawk. Well, thanks very much for kind of walking us through how all of this works. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people interested in finding out more and maybe connecting with you. If so, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, so the best way to connect with us is go to realehappy.com/property profits. So just like on the podcast, property profits. And that's real, REAL, like real estate, realehappy.com. Because when you work with us, you're going to be really happy with your real estate.
Awesome. Hawk, thanks so much for being on the show. This has been great.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
All right, everybody. Take care. See ya on the next one.
Hey there. I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewsyou.com.